Alright, so it's currently 10 a.m. and the reason I don't have my charts open is because today is FOMC. We have NFP on Friday, so according to my rules, I legitimately cannot trade for the rest of the week. Can't trade on FOMC days, and on an NFP week, I can't trade past Wednesday morning on NFP weeks. So that being said, I'll just be backtesting the rest of the week here. So this is day number 2 of backtesting this week, but day number 1 of backtesting because I cannot trade on the day. So let's jump into it. Okay. Start on the weekly. So the last backtesting session we had, we traded majority of that hour was inside of August price action, which was pretty bad right here. Okay. Then we finally started getting expansion late or early September. And so now we are expanding, and you see this weekly candle has already broken above the previous week's high, so we can't use that as a objective. Wait, this is the previous week's candle. So broken. It is Friday of this weekly candle here. The weekly isn't giving me too much to work with, the daily isn't giving me too much to work with as far as direction where I think this candlestick can go. It could go higher, or it can come for this liquidity here into the fair value gap. What I will say though is, because my weekly bias is bullish, I'm more inclined to think that we'll go higher here. Although it is only it's Friday of this week here, so. Just heavy accumulation, not really conducive for a trade here. Yeah, I'll pass on this day of trading. Rightfully so. You see, oh, okay, we finally broke down. So that's good. I mean, we broke down on nothing I can really, we were, no model there for me. All right. So we broke down towards the end of that week there. That's good. Trading inside of a weekly fair value gap now. Trading inside of a daily fair value gap. Whichever one you want to argue. Whether you want to say we're trading inside of this one because we worked it, or this one because we closed in it. Whatever one you want to. Oh, I guess we closed. Anyway, so 2 bullish PD arrays, right? Weekly and daily fair value gaps. So I'm bullish. I am bullish. On top of that, we swept all that liquidity there. So as far as like a higher time frame trade here would be decent actually, right? I'm not a swing trader, but let's see. I need to break a structure, so yeah, the hourly. If we came back down to here or broke above this and then traded back into the inversion fair value gap, then that would be a decent inverse trade, or not inverse trade, swing trade, excuse me. It's definitely with the bias. So this is kind of ugly price action though, as far as like how we chopped up. Okay, so that got all cleaned out. my model really, it's not present here. Like, I'm not gonna. It's not like I could see us using this fair value gap to go higher. Like I said earlier, this could be that retrace, but man, that's a bearish candlestick there. Like, yeah. All right, we'll leave that day alone. Obviously, bit of a weird one. Look at that candle, right? Still bullish. Previous daily high we can target. Trade back down into here and give me a sweep, and maybe we got something. Okay. Now it just needs to distribute higher. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I don't like that sweep as much now, considering how low we went. Could we come for these lows and then go higher? I'm still bullish. Honestly, this not a terrible. Am I gonna regret taking an inverse setup here? Nice easy 1 to 3, or 1 to 1.3, sorry. Yeah, alright, that's fair. I was willing to take that because of how clean that setup looked to the downside. Like, we took out all this liquidity that we should have been coming for. There really wasn't too much liquidity above here in the near term. It was just that previous daily high, but no equal highs or anything. These were nice equal lows after a sweep. I was comfortable taking that, especially with the risk reward I had. Alright, so that's a winning day. Let's go to the next day. Still trading within this daily fair value gap. And the weekly, obviously. The weekly fair value gap is pretty ginormous. I don't think this is a daily order box just because, yeah, it's in a premium. Okay. Not the nicest looking price action I've ever seen. If I'm bullish, which I believe I am on the daily and the week, well, definitely on the weekly. The daily, I am as well. I'd like to see a sweep lower and then go higher. Alright, so this is the dealing range. Let's see if we can take a more conservative trade just to like the equilibrium of the dealing range. I'm still not here yet with the inversion fair value gaps, where I can take it without a break of structure. I'm just not there yet. Problem is with this trade is we only have a break of structure on the 1 minute, so like, and the 1 minute didn't give us any fair value gaps. Yeah, I would trade up until here. See if we can get that or not. Okay. Took a loss there. The reason I took this trade was because on the daily, not anymore on the daily, I guess. After this candle, but I was still on this day. We were respecting this earlier in the day, and we still haven't closed below it technically. I was bullish because we were respecting this daily fair value gap. Obviously, the weekly bullish. So I was expecting after the sweep to, at the very least, and I wasn't targeting anything crazy, just come up to the dealing range equilibrium. I thought that was conservative enough, even if we did want to continue lower. So that's okay. I mean, it is what it is. Alright, next day open. Oh. Fuck you. Are you kidding me? That is outrageous. So this was us in here, and then we get taken out, and then chop around up until noon. For some reason, during lunchtime, we decided, you know, it's time to fucking rally to do all-time highs. I don't know. A bit of a weird day. It's fine. So, daily, still respecting this. Took the previous daily high already. See the weekly is still bullish. Nice sweep here. Trading back into a 4-hour fair value gap. So 1 hour fair value gap as well we can respect. Choppy. Should be clean. Move higher. Only thing is, do I really have a model? Not really. This could be one of those days where it just catapults higher. Like, I don't like when I see price action like this. It looks like more of like an arc. I hate that. Typically I'll lose on... I just have bad memories of this. Not sure how much I love this. Let me see something. Well, that's concerning in itself that there's really no fair value gap to reach for here. I might regret not taking this one in hindsight, but we shall see. I don't really love it. Oh, okay, I'm glad I didn't take it. I like this though. I like how there's so much liquidity here now that's been built. I like this. It's something small that I can target. Okay. My own. You know what? I'm not gonna take this. I'll tell you why. Realistically, yes, you can argue my model is here, right? Sweep, distribution, come back into a fair value gap, which we're trading in now, which is our higher time frame PD array. But I need to find my model within the higher time frame PD array. And even on the 1 minute, my model isn't present. I mean, I guess you can argue we swept this low here, but we didn't sweep. It just makes it tougher. I'm not going to take this. Let's see what it does. Gotta be disciplined. All right. I mean, these candlesticks are like disgusting, so let's wait to see what it does. I would imagine it moves up like it's doing now, but we had to wait all morning and afternoon for that, so yeah, I'm not gonna play with the rest of this day. It's pretty ugly looking, and we got the exact move we wanted. It's just the way it delivered was horrific. Like, yeah, it is what it is. Like, it would look really nice on the well, specifically the 4 hour. It would look really nice. Sweep, back down into order block, push up higher, but it looks, yeah, it just, yeah, gave me no entry. That's fine. Previous daily high we can target, still bullish. You see someone? Okay. Trading inside fair value gap on the 1 hour. Bounced off of. Got a sweep as well. Sweep back into fair value gap on the 15 minute. Can we get maybe a lower, even lower time frame sweep to show up within that 15 minute fair value gap? Okay. Well, we got it. Sweep again. Also, head and shoulders, making people think it's going to drop further. Let's see if that works in our favor or not. But we're still within this hourly PD array. Decent sweep here. It should be a conservative target, just the equilibrium of the dealing range here. Still the dealing range. I'm gonna have to check if we're respecting. Are we respecting this fair value gap anymore? No, we're not, and we closed underneath it. Okay, fair enough. So, it looks like it, instead of choosing to deliver higher today, it's probably just going to stay within this higher time frame range we got going on here. Pretty choppy, pretty ugly price action that I want to avoid, so we'll see how price plays out, but no trade. Okay. So we ended up delivering lower after leaving these highs here, which is, I don't know how I feel about that, but okay. I guess you gotta build some liquidity somewhere, right? So yeah, it's becoming tougher and tougher to kind of, I mean, of course, on the weekly, we're still bullish. We would need to see price close below this candle to be bearish. It's a long ways for it to go. So the weekly is pretty, I mean, I'm pretty solid with remaining bullish on the weekly. But the daily is giving me a little bit of an issue here. I think this is what we're going to reach for at this point. It's seemingly what price wants to come for. So that's something that we can target. Potentially it would be obviously inverse to our higher time frame bias, but as far as the daily goes though, we are, I mean, based on order flow, we are technically bearish. So alright, technically in a discount inside of this range here. Starts really from here because we swept liquidity, swept liquidity. This is the range. Need to see a trade higher here to take a sell. Oh, is it like a shortened day for some reason? Or am I think I'm just dumb, right? Did we already trade this day? I didn't click next day open. I don't know. It's a bit weird. Okay, this is a new week, Monday. Still bullish on the weekly, right? I mean, we need to close below this candle, like I said. This candle can easily still be respected by the end of this week, but obviously on the daily we are bearish currently, but we are also inside of bullish fair value gap, so that's something to take note of. Not sure. Let me see the week and the news we got this week. So yeah, it's a high. It'll probably be NFP as well, right? No. Okay, so just FOMC this week on Wednesday. Okay, for the 4 hour. All right, we're in a bit of a weird situation because you know, I am still bullish on the weekly. Daily, we did obviously based on order flow, we're bearish, but we're also inside of this bullish fair value gap. So, do I imagine us coming all the way down for this here? Is that the next draw on liquidity for on the daily? I don't. Maybe if these lows weren't swept and it was more equal lows, but I'm gonna assume we react off of these fair value gaps a bit. So. It's tough to trade in this environment when it's like, I don't know, we are just crashing. Like, on it, where do I expect this daily candlestick to go? If I'm being completely honest with you, obviously, like, this is before 9:30 and we've already have I mean, this candle's fucking ridiculous already, and it's before 9:30. The volume we got during pre-market is crazy, but I'm gonna assume this ends up being a bit more of a wick. I think we do. I'm not saying we end bullish on the day, but at least a bit more of a wick. I think this gets respected to a degree. I don't think we just, you know. So. But anyways, like there's nothing here for me. Like there's no liquidity to sweep or anything. Like no, sorry, no. I mean, maybe on the 1 minute you're like, oh, you know, we could have swept, sure, whatever. But I'm not looking for my model on a 1 minute, so it's very rare I will be, and that's why. And I was wrong about today. It looks like we just have no regard for that fair value gap. I mean, we did technically close below it, but the fact that we have I mean, I just don't see bullish, bearish, doesn't matter. I don't see a potential for a trade. Like, even if I switch my bias, I want it to be more bearish here now that we've, you know, provided some more liquidity down here towards these lows. Technically closed below this daily fair value gap. It's tough to be, or it's tough to find a trade regardless. Bullish, bearish in this environment. It just is. Like, I don't know how else to express it. Like, this is like ugly. Like, when was the last time we had some decent consolidation was this, right? Because I'm looking for, and I get we're on the 1 hour, but I'm looking for accumulation and a sweep. I mean, that was a pretty, like, awful sweep. I don't know, like, I'm looking to see if I'm missing something. I mean, this, if I was, well, actually, this was the one I got stopped out on, correct? Because I was actually, yeah, so I was right about that. Okay. Let's just see how this day develops here. I don't really know. Okay. So it was more of like a doji type. Yeah. So we have two draws on the daily right now. It's either we're going to draw up into this fair value gap, or we're going to draw down into like this liquidity here. And we could easily do both as well, but it's just something to be aware of, that we have two draws on liquidity at this point. Which one is more likely? Well, based on the weekly time frame, because we're still technically bullish on the weekly, you would say that trading up into the bullish fair value or the bearish fair value gap here is actually more likely. So let's see if that happens first or at all. We're not inside of a higher time frame PD array, aside from the, if you want to argue that we're inside of the, don't. Okay. I like this though. I like this. If we can come and sweep, I'd like to see what we do from there. Okay. So I'm just gonna mark this so I know there is this. If we want to continue lower here. Okay, I'm not totally opposed to taking it before we enter that fair value gap. It's just more of a confirmation if we did. This though is not that appealing. Like this in itself. Are we really calling this distribution? We're using it very loosely if we're calling that distribution. I would. Yeah, max target would be this. I'm not going to take this trade. Let's see how it plays out though. Wouldn't have gotten tapped in, so. Yeah, nowhere do we get tapped in there. To be fair though, okay. If I wanted to take this higher, it's a bit more risky. Let's see how this kind of goes. Trade back in a year. Target that. I'd be interested. There's a very high chance we're gonna get tapped in here. Yeah. Okay. That's fine. Just another instance of us really just not getting a good entry from. I don't know. 2021, was it just a tough year for the 2022 model? I don't know. Just really just look. I mean, it's happened multiple times now. At least this time we didn't lose a trade. We just couldn't get in. This is just ugly. Like, even as we continued to go higher, we never retraced into a fair value gap. We barely even made a decent fair value gap until like, I wish here maybe you can argue, like definitely here. Like, I don't know. All right. And continue. That's fair. That was our draw on the higher time frame. I don't usually target those unless we're close. Oh, this was FOMC anyway. Oh, okay. Totally forgot about that, so we actually wouldn't have been in a trade. Let's see. Okay. Okay. So now we have traded into that piece of liquidity there. We're now respecting this weekly fair value gap again. So begs the question what we're going to do now, because we are in a bearish fair value gap in the daily, but again, that weekly fair value gap is being respected now. You know, not an easy environment to really form a bias. Again, this is nothing crazy, right? Just pure chop on the way up. No fair value gap to really come back for or anything like that. So I don't know what to make of this, to be completely honest with you. This is a no trade day. I barely have a bias, and the lower time frame looks like absolute dog shit. The reason I don't have a bias again is because, like, if I had to guess, I would say, okay, we're going to be bullish, because the higher time frame you go, the more likely that plays out. I'm bullish on the weekly right now. And on the daily, I'm bearish technically, because we're inside of a bearish fair value gap after breaking structure and disrespecting order flow multiple times. So that makes it harder to form a bias, right? Because I'm bullish on the weekly, bearish on the daily, right? So that's number one. So now at this point, I'd really have to find something. I'd have to find an A+ setup, and we don't have that. What am I looking at? Like, this is not good. Like, it makes me want to throw up this price action. You know, when you go to the 15-minute, it actually looks a little bit better. I can't lie. Like, we could sweep this and go higher if we wanted to stay true to the weekly bias. Let's just see what price does. I don't know. We did get a sweep here, so. There you go. It's just not something I don't know. Do we even get a? I'd be curious. Technically, we might have gotten an entry, but off of an inversion fair value gap. I mean, this one would have been. I think it's a count. Thank you for that. It's okay. I mean, I don't really. I'm not upset that I missed that trade there. That. Oh, higher time frame PD array. Choppy price action. I mean, you can sweep this and go higher, but that's like really not an A+ setup there, because we're not trading into a higher time frame PD array. Okay. So the weekly actually turned bullish, which is crazy. Or not bull, like the weekly candle turned bullish, which is crazy. We've taken the previous weekly high already. I'm still bullish on this, on the weekly. Daily is still bearish. So we're still dealing with this dilemma with forming a bias. Just not having clean moves where I can, you know, like there's, okay, so we swept liquidity, cool. I don't know, this is brutal. Like I really genuinely have not been able to find clean setups this whole month again, August and September now. I'm not going to do it, but part of me really does want to take this buy now because we kept this intact and we got a sweep, but the bias is just so, yeah. It's a fair argument to make that we just sweep this and that's enough. I'm not going to go back now and take a trade on it, but this actually could have presented us with something. Or maybe not, because I don't even see us ever trade back into a fair value gap. This shit is ridiculous, man. I don't know. Not many trades in the month of September. Bro, it's just not clean. Like, we're reaching for these draws that I want, but it's just not clean. Like, we are forming additional liquidity rather than sweeping. Like, we actually took the time to scale up all that way to create more liquidity and then drop instead of sweeping anything. Like, are we arguing this fucking little high here got swept? Come on. Like, let's be real. I don't know. And then we created this. We didn't even sweep this. I would have liked, you know, maybe we swept that. I would have been encouraged to take a trade, but yeah, that's mm-hmm. Alright, we have two draws at the moment. We have draw into here or draw into here. We're pretty bearish at this point on the weekly. And we're kind of up in the air. I mean, realistically, let's see. Let's see what the lower time frame's giving us. It's just, we're going sideways now, which is fine, but I don't know, like, look at the way we came for this liquidity. I'm sorry, this is like actually ridiculous. I mean, this is disgusting. I would have gotten taken out 4 different times here before I actually got my entry to take it lower. This price action is so bad. So the first sweep came, now technically it's not the greatest sweep of all time because we leave this high, we take this high, fair enough, fine. You want to say that's good enough? Within this giant range of liquidity, fine. We sweep that. So that's the first sweep. Limit order here. Above the high. Oh, taken out. Let's see where else we can. There was really no fair value gap here. Limit order here. Above the high. Taken out. This would have been, so you're stopped out twice before you finally get like a nice inverse / regular fair value gap. Put that above the high. It chops around for a fucking day and a half, and then it finally decides, okay, we're gonna go. This price action is horrible compared to what I'm trading with now in 2024. Like, genuinely, bro. Were people on the Forex wave in 2021? Is that like, because this is like really bad, like compared to what I'm trading today. Shit is lethargic as fuck. Like, it doesn't want to do anything. Let's just see what the rest of the day does. Well, the weekly has turned bearish now. Broke order flow. All right, I'm gonna end it here because we finished up with the month of September. Legitimately, I think I took 2 trades the entire month for a break-even month. Am I right about that? Yeah, break-even month. And I took, yeah, legitimately I took 2 trades. And it was back-to-back days. And there, I shit you not, there was nothing the rest of the month. Like, that was bad. Whew, that was bad. There was literally nothing. In trading you got to expect months like that, I guess. That was really bad though. I would almost expect that more from August, which we did get towards the end of August. Beginning of August actually was pretty decent. We were getting opportunities. End of August, fair enough. September, we're still trading like that? I guess. So.